Welcome back, all you Auburn recruiting and transfer portal junkies. We have another commitment and signing to talk about in the 2025 transfer portal class for Auburn football, this time on the defensive side of the ball, and what will be the first on a very busy day for the Tigers. We're going to give you the things that you need to know, quick facts, what it means for him and Auburn football. But first, I want to welcome you back to E2C Network, where we share the Auburn experience. My name's Cal, if you don't know me, and be sure to follow and subscribe if you're not doing so already. We'd also love for you to smash that like button if you enjoy this type of content. Finally, talking about the defensive side of the ball for this 2025 recruiting transfer portal class. I keep trying to say both of them, but it's the transfer portal class. But we're here. It's the fifth one actually in the cycle thus far, as of the time of this particular commitment and signing. The fifth one overall, and the first on what would be a very busy day. We're talking about the defensive backs portion of the defensive group, and even more specifically, we are talking about the cornerbacks as well, because this is where this person will likely play, as that's where he's played most of his time at Miami of Ohio. Let me say that again, Miami of Ohio, not Florida. Don't get it confused. I often do. It's easy to make that mistake, but Miami of Ohio is where he comes from, originally from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. So it's not really an area that Auburn has a lot of influence into, although I would say with that pipeline we apparently are building into the state of Maryland, this is not that far away from it, so I guess we'll just continue on trucking up into the Northeast if you'd like to talk about it that way. He's listed on the Miami of Ohio statistics sheet as being somewhere around 180 pounds and about 6 foot approximately, we'll call him. So that gives you some idea of the type of athlete measurables that he has. It does fit nicely into a cornerback option. You hear that type of measurables a lot for that. And frankly, that's where he's been playing. He's been playing for them for the last 2 years a lot. Every single game that he's had an opportunity to play for Miami of Ohio, he has been out there and getting better and better each year. So this is a guy that comes in with a lot of experience, which shouldn't shock you because Auburn was probably looking for someone to come in and be an experienced option to have at that group that was severely lacking at times. A lot of experienced options, especially whether we're talking about attrition or health or things like that. Definitely needed to bring in someone, and the coaches have definitely talked about that. But let's look at some stats, give you something maybe to think about in the quick facts option, something to know about him. If you look on ESPN, you'll see some things here. We'll just mainly note his last year with Miami of Ohio. 53 total tackles, 40 of them were solo, 13 assists, 2 interceptions, and he also had 17 pass deflections. So there are more stats out there that you can see, but what you'll see if you kind of compare that to his first year and his second year is he got better each and every time while still playing the same amount, which was every game that he had an option to. So you got a pretty good experienced pedigree of athlete. I'll just call him that because who knows if he may even change at some point, but right now cornerback going to be a good option for that room going forward. So what does it mean for him? What does it mean for Auburn football? Well, we'll start with the recruiting and the transfer portal class. Like I said, at the time of his commitment, and that's what we're keeping this all in perspective of, he was the 5th signee in this transfer portal for 2025. The first on the defensive side of the ball and the first in the defensive back group, cornerback group, however you'd like to slice that up. What does it mean for the class going forward? Will there be any more? It doesn't look like, if you look at the depth charts we'll talk about in just a little bit, there's going to be a lot of room for more in because you're inserting such a plethora of talent and options from this 2025 high school recruiting class alongside. But what they needed was somebody with experience, proven experience that's ready to take that next step. So right now, I don't know that we would anticipate somebody else coming in. But as we always say, we may not be done yet. If you look at the depth chart, you're going to see names like Kayan Lee, Jay Crawford. We got very familiar with him the last couple of years and how great that young talent was, and several others as well. So while I don't necessarily say this guy comes in as a shoe-in to take a starting job, he certainly is going to be in the rotation lineup. You don't have that type of experience, that type of success, without getting a really hard look and having a really good path to finding yourself some playing time, maybe even starting time by the time we get hitting with pads in the fall. So we'll see how that shakes out for him. But that's the facts, the things that you need to know and what it means for him and for Auburn football. We'd love to hear your thoughts about this particular signee and welcome him into the Auburn family in the comments section below. Thanks for hanging out with us. And until we talk to you again, War Eagle.